Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are still fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith. And Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be based on a mass stabbing that took place in Taipei. So, through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and the Lord's will, you're edified. It says at least 4 people killed in mass stabbing in Taipei. Man 27 from northern Taiwan reported to have fallen to his death in police chase after rampage through capital. It says at least 4 people have died in a rare mass stabbing incident in central Taipei after an attacker used smoke grenades to cause chaos as he went on a violent rampage through Taiwan's capital. Several people were also injured. The suspected assailant is among the dead after he fell from a building during a police chase through a busy shopping district on Friday evening. One of the victims was killed as they tried to stop the attack inside Taipei's main station, according to the city's mayor. The suspected attacker has been described as a 27-year-old man from Taoyuan, a northern county in Taiwan. He was reportedly an Air Force volunteer soldier who had served near Taipei's Songshan Airport in a radio communication team, but was discharged in 2022. Taiwan's premier Cho Tai told reporters that the suspected attacker had a prior criminal record and outstanding warrants. Local media reported he was wanted by the local prosecutor's office for obstructing military service in 2024 due to failure to report on duty. Cho described the incident as a deliberate attack, although by late Friday night the motive remained unknown. Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te said in a statement there would be heightened security across the country and that there would be no leniency. The attack started at Taipei main station on Friday afternoon. The attacker allegedly threw smoke grenades inside the station at the peak of rush hour before making his way to nearby Zhongshan. One video filmed by a bystander showed the young man in the middle of the main road outside Zhongshan subway station, a popular late night and shopping district. He was wearing a black t-shirt and shorts, sneakers, a mask, and some protective equipment. He appeared to have other weapons, including at least one other knife strapped to his chest. The video shows him pulling smoke grenades from a bag on the ground and casually throwing them towards crowds gathered on the sidewalk, keeping their distance. He is then seen running across the road and into a shopping mall, randomly slashing at people with a long knife as he runs. Another clip shows him inside what appears to be Taipei main station, pulling smoke grenades from a wheeled suitcase and calmly throwing them. Other clips show one of the underground stations filled with smoke and people being evacuated out of buildings. The scene was terrifying and smelled awful, said one resident who posted videos to social media. 2 men who were working in a nearby fast food chain told local media they had heard screaming from outside and could smell the smoke. One said people started running into the restaurant asking if they could hide inside, adding that they all took shelter behind the cashier. Said violent crime is relatively rare in Taiwan, but in the past couple of years a number of stabbing attacks on the metro have raised fears. Some trains now carry instructional videos on how people can disarm attackers with umbrellas and fire extinguishers. In 2014, a college student killed 4 people and injured more than 20 in a stabbing spree on the Taipei metro. The student was executed for the killings in 2016. Last year, on the 10-year anniversary of the 2014 incident, 3 people were injured in a mass stabbing incident in Taichung, Taiwan's second largest city. Photos published by local media revealed a burned out bag full of what appeared to be unused Molotov cocktails. The smoke grenades pictured are replica U.S. military equipment and advertised for sale online in Taiwan, but did not appear to be available on the website when The Guardian checked after the attack. An affiliated store on a separate shopping platform was taken down on Friday night. One prominent seller of the equipment told The Guardian they had checked their sales records after the incident and were not aware of any high volume or unusual sales that suggested the attacker had bought the grenades from them. They said the items were intended for lawful uses such as outdoor activities, training, or signaling, and not for violent purposes. Yeah, well, just because some people don't have bad intentions doesn't mean that everyone doesn't have bad intentions. You know, there's some people out here that do have bad intentions. And that's where situations like this come into play. But this mass stabbing attack, I should say, was the judgment of the Lord upon those people who got injured and killed. Psalms 9:16. The Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higgaion Selah. Yeah. Because the scriptures tell us that a man's goings are of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own way? So basically, this person who went on this mass stabbing attack, he wasn't just doing that because that's what he wanted to do. He was doing that because that's the spirit that the Lord put on him. The Lord used him as a spirit of vengeance to execute some judgment. That's what happened. Although a lot of people will never understand that. Ecclesiasticus 39:28. They be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And that's exactly what happened. That man was a spirit of vengeance, and the Lord used him to lay sore strokes upon those people, resulting in some people getting killed and others being injured. Verse 29. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. And for the people who died, that spirit of vengeance in the form of death was sent upon them. And that was the vengeance of the Heavenly Father. Like it says in Luke 21:22, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. We are clearly living in the days of vengeance. That's why there's so many stabbings and shootings and hit and runs and people driving their cars and trucks through crowds of people and, all sorts of just horrific judgments taking place. Because this is all the Lord's vengeance upon wicked people with whom he's angry with. Psalm 7:11, Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. And you take a look at all the things that are happening throughout the world, the stabbings, the shootings, the plane crashes, the fires, the earthquakes, the storms and tempests. Basically, like it says in 2 Ezra 8:50, For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. You see all of this judgment taking place, and that's the anger of the Lord. That's the Lord's anger towards these wicked people, regardless of how old they are, how young they are, where in the world they are, what ethnicity they are. Like it says in Romans 2 and 11, there is no respect of persons with Yahweh. So anybody and everybody can get judged if that's what the Heavenly Father decided that He wanted to do. Hebrews 10 and 31, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And that's right. Those people did not see that coming. They were just minding their business, just going to work or going home. And next thing you know, there's smoke grenades being thrown and people are getting stabbed, and it was just chaos. But that's what happens when these wicked people fall into the hands of the living power. Heavy judgment gets brought upon them. And that's how you also know that we're in the last days, because like they said, Taiwan, doesn't really have incidents like that. But they also said that there has been an increase in incidents like that. So that's also a sign that we're in the last days, the fact that these rare incidents are becoming less rare. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I, am He, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And in this mass stabbing incident, the Lord killed some people and wounded some people. And there was nothing that could have been done to stop that from happening, because the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Himself, set it into motion. And the people who were meant to be judged got judged, some more harshly than others. First Samuel 2 and 6, the Lord Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. And through His spirits of vengeance, the Heavenly Father has and continues to kill a lot of people. And that is His judgment upon them. That is His vengeance upon them. That is His anger and His wrath being poured out. Job 4 and 7, remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? And the answer is that no one has perished being innocent, nor were the righteous ever cut off. So those people who died in this stabbing attack, they were not innocent in the eyes of the Lord. Because if they were innocent, the Lord wouldn't have had them get attacked. That type of judgment would not have been brought upon them. The Lord would have protected them. Verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And that's what's happening. Wicked people are reaping what they've sown. See, these wicked people are running around here thinking everything is sweet, thinking everything is fine, even though they're out here provoking the Heavenly Father unto wrath with their continued wickedness. And now these judgments are getting sent out left and right. People are getting wounded and killed daily because they have to reap what they've sown. They have to be punished for their wickedness. Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And for those people who died in this stabbing attack, it was their time, according to the will of the Heavenly Father. The Heavenly Father, Yahweh, decided that he wanted those people taken out. And so he sent his spirit of vengeance to execute that judgment. And that's how every judgment plays out. The Heavenly Father knows who he wants to wound and who he wants to kill. And his spirits of vengeance were created to execute those judgments to whatever extent the Heavenly Father wants them to be executed. Like it says in Isaiah 48:22, there is no peace, saith the Lord Yahweh, unto the wicked. That's why these wicked people, they could be out shopping at a mall, at the park, at a restaurant. It doesn't matter. If the Lord has it out for them, then that judgment is going to find them. And there is no escaping it. Because like it said in Deuteronomy 32:39 at the end, it says, neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Once you're in the crosshairs of the Lord, that's it. However your judgment is meant to play out is exactly how it's going to play out. And in this particular judgment, it played out in some people getting killed and other people being injured. And we're going to continue to see these type of events, judgments, situations, whatever you want to call it, taking place all over the world, especially in places where stabbing attacks or other violent incidents are relatively rare. We're gonna be seeing a increase in those attacks, in those judgments, because we're living in the last days, and we are living in the days of vengeance, living in the days of the Heavenly Father Yahweh's vengeance and his wrath and his anger and his fury being poured out upon the earth and poured out upon these wicked people who rightfully deserve the sore strokes that they receive. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash, the water Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are still fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith, and shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.